Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of Doorphobia. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing on unlocking the 3 combat styles. This means something slightly different for each of them, but basically, we're going to be preparing the account to train these skills in the best way possible. I also just wanted to point out that this door to the range we were using in the last episode is permanently open. I did actually record me saying that when cooking, but I accidentally cut the clip when editing and somebody asked me in the comments, so I just thought I'd clarify. So don't worry, we're still doorless, except the incident. So in today's episode, these are our goals. For melee, we want 40 attacks so that we can wield a rune scimitar, and of course we want the rune scimitar itself. This will make combat and slayer training a little easier, and I'll explain why we need slayer in a second. For range, we want to be able to make our own bows and arrows for the leveling process. Every shop that sells bows and arrows is behind a door, so we're only really going to be able to train range by making our own. And we want 55 slayer and 55 fletching for access to broad bolts. These are going to be the best bolts we have access to in bulk, and are the bolts we'll be using to get the fire cape. For magic, we want a decent cash flow to buy runes. Our fletching training should hopefully give us a lot of extra bows that we can sell to stores in order to give us this. And a fire staff. Any staff would be hugely helpful for this account, but a fire staff would be the best. The only staff shop is behind the door, so we'll need to be able to get one of these as a drop. At 33 Slayer, we unlock access to Harpy bug swarms which drop the fire staff, so we're going to aim to get one that way. The first thing I want to do today is get a Slayer task, because we're going to have to get one eventually, so we may as well do it now and just see what we get, and then I have an idea of what skills I should be training in order to get to the levels to do that task. So let's head to Edgeville and speak to Crystalia, the Edgeville Slayer Master, and see what task we get. Oh, we can't use her, okay. That's pretty interesting. Does she have a level requirement? I didn't think she did. So, we're going to head to the museum and do the museum quiz, which should get us to 9 Slayer, and will allow us to use Crystalia, because she won't speak to us since we don't have any Slayer XP. Which isn't mentioned anywhere, but I've seen some Reddit posts complaining about the same thing, so apparently if we just get the 1000 XP, she will then speak to us. So we're going to quickly head off and do that, and then we should get our first task. Nice, let's speak to the dude. This is actually huge because it means our XP lamps are going to give us 90 Slayer XP instead of 10. So we should get a big XP drop here. Nice, there it is. We started Slayer. Awesome, that's so good. We don't really care about Hunter, but having Slayer at 9 is massive. Okay, let's see what we get. Bandits, okay. They're pretty high level, right? We can access them, so that's fine. We're gonna have to train a little bit before we do them, but task-wise, that's fine. Good start. In the last episode, we bought an event RPG. At the time, I didn't explain what an event RPG was, but basically, it's this goofy looking weapon that you hold on your shoulder, and it speeds up all of your attacks. It doesn't have any stats, but it increases your attack speed, therefore it increases our overall DPS by a lot. As it's really hard for us to get weapons, we're going to aim to use this until 40 attack for the rune scimitar. I'm going to start by training on monks in Edgeville, as they're low defense and heal themselves, so it's a pretty relaxed training spot. I'm then going to move on to low leveled monsters that drop big bones, which we can use to train prayer, such as big frogs and hill giants. So let's get started. Okay, we've just reached 20 in all of our melee combat stats, so we're gonna head over to the frogs in Lumbridge Swamp, and we're gonna kill some big frogs. All of our melee stats are now in the 30s, so we're going to head to the bandit camp in the wilderness to see if we can complete our first Slayer task. This should be our last kill. There it is. That's our first task completed. 4 more and we'll start getting points. So we just have to do 4 more without hitting any undoable tasks, which I think is just the Dark Warriors. But I think I have a workaround for that if we do get them, which I imagine we will eventually. But yeah, let's head back, get another task. I'm hoping we get something nice like scorpions or skeletons. Or just some low-level trash mob we can kill. Even revs would be nice, but we would have to save up the 100k. Which would be kind of scary to die for. Alright, let's see what we get. Please don't be an awful task. Lesser demons, uh-oh. Okay, I think I have a plan for these. So when preparing to train my stats to kill the lesser demons, I was having a look through my bank and I realized there's a beginner clue scroll just sitting there. So I'm going to quickly complete this and see what we get, and hopefully it's something useful for the account, but we'll see. So during the clue scroll, there's going to be steps where we have to dig stuff up from the ground. So we're going to head over here to the Remington mine, and there's actually a spade spawn that we can pick up, and that will allow us to complete those steps. Okay, so we have a spade, which is cool. I honestly wasn't sure if we could even get a spade when I was starting this account. And I found one in Remington on the wiki, so it's very convenient. So here we get another clue. Talk to the cook at Lumbridge Castle, we can do that. Let's go. Okay, there he is. We can get right to him because there's no openable doors. They're just permanently open, which is great. Hello? Okay. I can do that. Awesome. Nice, okay. Alright. First clue scroll on the account, let's see what we get. Hopefully something useful. Not really. So for the lesser demons, we want to safe spot them with magic, so that we can kill them without taking any damage. In order to buy the runes that we need for magic, we need money. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to try and make this money while we prepare our account to train range, as fletching training will give us a lot of spare bows that we can sell. So basically, we need to prepare the account to train range before we can train magic effectively. To train range on this account, we need to train 5 different skills in order to make our own bows and arrows. These skills are mining to get ore, smithing to smelt this ore into bars and then into arrowheads, woodcutting to get logs, fletching to make these logs into bows and arrow shafts, and crafting to make bowstrings in order to string our bows. Most of these skills are fairly straightforward and we can train them through the normal ways, except crafting. We need 10 crafting to make our bowstrings, and as we're unable to do the early crafting XP quests or access tanners to train crafting by making leather items, which are the methods you would usually use to get from 1 to 10, we're going to have to train it a bit differently. First, we're going to head to the West Varrock mine and mine a bunch of clay. Then, we're going to bank it and repeat. Once we have about 100 clay, we're going to head to Falador and use the water pump to turn it into soft clay. Then, when we've made it all into soft clay, we're going to run it from Edgeville to Barbarian Village and make it all into pottery, which should get us to 10 crafting. So we're now 10 crafting, which allows us to create bowstrings by picking flax and using a spinning wheel to turn it into bowstrings. I'm going to pick about 1000 flax, as this will get us to 30 crafting and will let us string a lot of bows that we can sell to make money. I'm going to head back to Barbarian Village to spin these, as it's one of the only spinning wheels not behind a door. So let's go do that. Okay, so that's crafting done, which leaves us with 4 more skills to train in order to make our bows and arrows. I just spent like 2 days making a montage of me training crafting, so hopefully these upcoming skills will be a little bit quicker. We're going to start with mining, which we only need to train to 15. I'm going to mine tin and copper ore so that we can combine these into bronze bars in order to train up our smithing. Before mining, I'm going to grab the iron pickaxe spawn in Relica, as it's slightly better than the bronze one we start with from Tutorial Island. Then we're going to head to Isle of Souls and mine all the ore we need. Okay, before we go any further, I just quickly want to explain why I have a leaf in my inventory and why I'm going to have this leaf in some of the other clips throughout the video. Basically, there's this old dude called Dr. Jekyll, and he randomly appears behind you and asks you for a herb. And if you give him a specific herb, a cleaned cadentine, he gives you a super restore potion. We need these for the fight caves in order to restore our prayer. I do have a strategy to get these potions later on, but any extras we can get will be super helpful. I got this one as a drop when killing hill giants, but it's actually grimy, so I took it to Nada where there's an NPC who cleans these herbs for you. And now if Dr. Jekyll spawns while we're holding it, he'll give us a super restore potion. If you enter a bank, he actually despawns, which is why we need to carry it with us at all times. Oh nice, we got a clue. Okay, so we'll finish up the mining and smithing. It shouldn't take too much longer, and then we'll go and do that clue and see what we get. We should have enough ore now to get 20 smithing in order to make iron arrowheads. We went a few levels over 15 mining, but that's what we needed in order to get the smithing done. So we're going to go and make this into bronze bars. We finished making the bronze bars, but we need a hammer to smith these into items, so I'm just quickly grabbing one from Shantae, and then we can continue training smithing. There we go, 15 smithing, which means we can now make iron bars, and at 20 smithing, we can make these into arrowheads. So now we have to quickly go mine some iron ore, and then smelting it into iron bars should get me to 20, and then I can make all the bars into arrowheads. Hey, we just got 20 smithing, which means we're done with smithing for now. We can finally make iron arrowheads. So we can actually make our ammunition. I'm going to use all of our remaining iron bars and make these into iron arrowheads. And then I'm going to move on. So I'm currently killing goblins as they drop the items we need for the clue scroll we got earlier when mining. I need a chef's hat from these goblins, and there are goblins near Falador in the goblin village that drop the red cape we need. I just said goblin a lot of times. The issue with this clue step is that it's located inside the Varrock clothes store, which, as you guessed, is behind a door. I'm going to see if I can complete the clue step while outside the store, but I'm not sure if that will work. But we're going to find out. Oh my god, I actually just got a red cape on my first kill. I walked all the way here thinking it would be a massive grind, because that's a 1 in 128 drop. And my first goblin, I hadn't even started recording yet, I got the drop. That's insane. Okay, well let's hope I can actually do this clue. I don't think I can, but We'll find out. Okay, this isn't going to work probably, but I don't know, maybe. No way, that actually works. Oh my god. I really wasn't expecting that to work. I just spoke to Shantae to finish the clue and we got our casket. Let's see what we get. We got some leather items, which aren't amazing, but they could be pretty useful when we train range later on. That brings us to 3 skills completed, and just leaves us with woodcutting and fletching, which we'll be training at the same time. I'm aiming for 55 fletching to make broad bolts, and whatever woodcutting level that gets us to. I can then string and sell all of the bows in order to have money to train magic. I've gotten to almost 30 woodcutting using a bronze axe, and I realized that the barbarians nearby drop an iron axe, so I'm going to go kill them and get an axe upgrade, which should hopefully make woodcutting a lot quicker. There it is, an iron axe. That took like 30 minutes, which is longer than I was thinking it would take, but we got it. We just got a beginner clue nest while woodcutting, so we're going to go do this. The first step is to speak to our friend Shantae, so we'll go do that now. Let's see what we get. Oh my god, that's actually huge. Now we can train mage. My only real good way to get a fire staff was to get 33 Slayer, because I got walled off by this Lesser Demons task, which I really want to do with mage, but then I don't really have a staff for that yet. That's amazing. That has just unlocked mage for us. We got another beginner clue while woodcutting, and the loot sucked. There it is, 55 fletching. We're now done with fletching. I may train it a little bit more if I need to sell more bows for GP in the future, but otherwise we have the fletching level to make broad bolts, which will be our ammo for the fight caves. And finally, that's all 5 skills trained. I'm going to string a bunch of longbows to sell, and I'll make a few short bows and arrows for us to train with. Then we'll have the money to start our mage training, and the fire staff since we got super lucky on that clue scroll. I sold the bows and Pollen Niche over a few different trips during the fletching grind, but I've just grouped the clips together now because it was easier to show them all at the same time. So we made just shy of 60k from the first lot of bows from our fletching grind. So I have a bunch of willow longbows to sell now. I'm thinking I'll make about 120k from selling all of these. So let's hop through all the worlds and see what we can get. This sell should get us over the 100k line. There it is. That's our first 100k cash stack on the account. Okay, I've just done the final world hop and we have 136k. Which is a really good amount of money to buy our runes to start training mage. So we're going to head off and buy some runes now. I've just withdrawn 35k and I'm going to use this to buy some starter runes. So now we're going to head to, I believe, the only rune store we can use, which is this guy in the wilderness, which is kind of sketchy, but we'll try and get there without dying. Okay, so we've got our runes now, and I've managed to throw together some pretty scuffed mage gear. We're still repping the Lederhosen, of course. We're going to head to Zamorak Warriors, as they're safe spottable, and drop a rune scimitar. So we're going to try our luck and see if we can get one. So these guys drop the rune scimitar at a 1 in 50 drop rate, but they also drop an adamant longsword at the same drop rate. So we're hoping we get the scimitar and not the longsword drop. 13 magic, which means we can now use Fire Strike, the most broken spell in the game, with our fire staff. And this will save us on rune usage a little bit, and we're hitting 8s, so it should speed things up massively. Oh, we get an adamant longsword drop. So for now that's our best melee weapon, but hopefully we'll get the rune scimitar next time. No, not another one. That's the same drop rate and I've got 2. No, I could have had 2 rune sims. No, not another one. It's the same drop rate as with rune scimitar and I've got 3 of them. Oh my gosh. What is my luck, man? We got it! Oh my god, we got it! We were just about to run out of runes too. Oh, that's amazing. After 3 adamant longswords, we finally got the rune sim. There it is.